Flying first class on every U.S. airline. A 72-hour journey. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to fly first class on every major U.S. airline, one after another? Well, that's exactly what I set out to do on an incredible 72-hour journey, flying across 6 different airlines: JetBlue, American Airlines, Hawaiian Airlines, United, Alaska Airlines, and Delta. The adventure cost over $10,000, but I was determined to experience what it's like to travel in luxury with each one. And you, dear readers, are invited to come along for the ride. JetBlue. The first flight. The journey began with a flight on JetBlue, departing from California. JetBlue is known for its friendly service, and when I arrived at the airport, there was a separate check-in counter just for first-class passengers. It felt special right from the start, though the airport was busy. And TSA took longer than expected. No fast-track options for JetBlue this time. Once I cleared security, I made my way to the gate where I boarded an Airbus A321. JetBlue's first-class seating is unique for a narrow-body plane. It's one of the few that offers fully lay-flat seats, not just the usual reclining ones. I stowed my carry-on luggage, and the flight crew handed me a plastic cup of sparkling water before takeoff. The cabin was cozy, and I could already feel the luxury starting to kick in. The flight was a long transcontinental one, about 5 hours from California to New York's JFK Airport, covering roughly 3,000 miles. When we reached cruising altitude, I had a chance to look around the aircraft. The first-class cabin had space for just 16 passengers, with 4 mini suites, each equipped with a privacy door. It was a cool feature, though I could tell the seats were starting to show their age. They had first been introduced in 2014, and a newer version was available on international flights, so it wasn't quite the newest product. JetBlue's service didn't disappoint, though. I was given an amenity kit that included basic skincare products, an eye mask, and flight socks. It wasn't anything too fancy, but it was a nice touch. Then came the meal service, small tapas-style dishes. I started with a cucumber salad with marinated feta, which was light and refreshing. Next came the burrata with pine nut crumble, followed by a flat iron steak, though unfortunately there was no way to choose how it was cooked. For dessert, I had vanilla gelato with peaches and a shortbread crumble. The meal was served all at once on one tray, but the food itself was surprisingly good, especially the cucumber salad and burrata. After eating, I decided to check out the bathroom facilities. There was only one toilet for all first-class passengers, which wasn't ideal. But I didn't have to wait at any point. The bathroom was functional, though not luxurious. Again, it felt like a mid-range service. Not quite as premium as you might expect. After the meal, I decided to test out the seat's transformation into a flatbed. At the touch of a button, the seat folded completely flat in about 60 seconds. The bedding was from a brand called Tough & Needle and included a pillow and an oversized duvet. Despite the seat's age, I found it comfortable enough for a quick nap. While I was lounging, I took a look at the entertainment options. JetBlue offers free Wi-Fi for all passengers, which was great for streaming movies. The Wi-Fi speed was impressive, and I even watched a few videos without any issues. They also had a good selection of in-flight movies and live TV, which kept me entertained for the rest of the flight. When I wasn't watching movies, I relaxed with a cocktail from the menu. A mint condition, their signature drink. The cabin was peaceful, and with the door on my mini suite closed, I was able to enjoy some privacy. As the flight neared its end, the crew notified us that we would be landing soon. I quickly had to fold the bed back up and get ready for landing. It was a smooth and pleasant flight, and I was already looking forward to my next adventure. American Airlines. The second flight after landing at JFK, it was time to head to my next flight with American Airlines. JFK has a long history, especially with airlines like TWA, which had its famous flight center there. Even though I wasn't flying with TWA, I got to explore the airport a little before catching my flight. American operates out of Terminal 8, and they provide a special check-in area for first-class passengers. This is where I got to enjoy expedited security, which is rare in the US without TSA pre-check. Once I had my boarding pass, it was time to visit the American Airlines Lounge. The Chelsea Lounge was a dream come true. It's an elegant space with a fireplace, plenty of comfortable seating, and even a sleeping area. I couldn't resist freshening up with a shower, where they provided high-end amenities like Dyson hair dryers and Jo Malone soap. The food in the lounge was also great, with an extensive champagne list and a restaurant-style menu. I chose a potato croquet with caviar as a starter, followed by lamb and beef kofte for the main course, and finished with a delicious peach crumble and vanilla custard for dessert. It felt like I was dining in a five-star restaurant, not an airport lounge. After my time at the lounge, it was time to board my American Airlines flight. I was flying on an A321T, which is a special aircraft used on premium transcontinental routes. The first-class cabin on this plane was very spacious with only 10 seats, making it feel more exclusive. I selected a flatbed suite for the flight to Los Angeles, and it was one of the comfiest seats I'd experienced so far. The bedding was luxurious, and I was provided with an amenity kit that included skincare, slippers, and a dental kit. However, despite the top-notch amenities, there were a few hiccups with the food. The menu didn't have any soups, and by the time the meal service started, my first and second choice dishes were both unavailable. I ended up with lamb cutlets, which unfortunately were a bit dry. But the famous American Airlines ice cream sundae more than made up for it. Rich and creamy. It was a treat I hadn't expected but thoroughly enjoyed. The entertainment was great though, with a solid selection of movies. American also provides Bang & Olufsen noise-canceling headphones, which worked well for blocking out the background noise during the flight. There were also a few amenities I wasn't expecting, like a full-sized restroom with premium products. Overall, the American Airlines experience was solid, though not without its imperfections. Hawaiian Airlines. The third flight. After a short layover, I found myself at the gate for my Hawaiian Airlines flight to Honolulu. This time, I was boarding a brand new Boeing 787, which had only started service in April. Hawaiian's new first-class product impressed me immediately. The seat was spacious and arranged in a 1-2-1 configuration, giving every passenger direct aisle access and plenty of privacy. I was offered a welcome drink of guava juice, which was delicious and refreshing. When we reached cruising altitude, I was able to explore the seat more thoroughly. Hawaiian's first class offers all the expected amenities, like noise-canceling headphones, a large 4K TV screen, and a small storage closet. The suite was comfortable, with plenty of space to stretch out and relax. However, when the meal service began, I was a bit disappointed by the food. The menu wasn't particularly creative, and I ended up with pancakes and pork sausage for breakfast, which, while edible, wasn't the exciting culinary experience I had hoped for. On the bright side, the fruit compote that came with the pancakes was fresh and flavorful, and the pound cake for dessert was surprisingly delicious. Hawaiian Airlines definitely excels in the comfort of their hard product, but there's room for improvement in their food offering. The flight attendants were friendly and made sure everyone felt welcome, which was a big plus. The in-flight entertainment, however, was a bit lacking. There was no Wi-Fi available on this flight, and I couldn't find a clear timeline for when Hawaiian would be offering Starlink internet. But I made the best of it by watching a movie on the provided entertainment system, which was better than nothing. As the flight neared its end, I got ready for the descent into Honolulu. It's a beautiful airport, with much of it being outdoors, which felt strange compared to the usual sterile indoor terminals. As we landed in Hawaii, I couldn't help but feel excited to explore the island. I made my way through the airport, picked up my bag, and was ready for the next leg of my journey. United Airlines. The fourth flight. After a short stay in Honolulu, it was time to continue my journey with United Airlines. United operates out of a variety of hubs, and in Honolulu, I was departing from Terminal 2, which was bustling with travelers heading to the mainland. United's first-class experience starts at check-in, where I was greeted by a dedicated counter for premium passengers. The staff were efficient, and I was quickly given my boarding pass. There was a slight delay in security, which meant I had some time to wander the terminal and admire the local shops, offering everything from Hawaiian souvenirs to luxury goods. Soon, it was time to board my flight to San Francisco. This leg of the trip was on a United Boeing 777-200, a plane used for both international and domestic long-haul flights. The first-class cabin was laid out in a 1-2-1 configuration, giving every passenger direct access to the aisle. The seats were large, with ample legroom and the ability to convert into a fully flat bed, though I couldn't help but notice that the cabins felt slightly dated, especially compared to newer competitors like Delta or American. The wood paneling along the walls and the beige leather seats felt a bit tired. though the cabin size made it feel spacious. The meal service on United was one of the most interesting of the trip. They offered a seasonal menu with items like roasted chicken, fresh green salads, and artisan bread, though I was curious about what they would serve next. The flight attendants were attentive, and it didn't take long before the meal carts rolled down the aisle. I started with a colorful vegetable salad with goat cheese, followed by a pan-seared filet mignon with mashed potatoes and roasted carrots. The meat was tender, though the mashed potatoes were a bit too creamy for my taste. For dessert, I had a rich chocolate mousse with raspberries, which was the highlight of the meal. What stood out most on this flight was the service. United's crew was incredibly attentive, ensuring that each passenger was comfortable and well taken care of. They offered a variety of beverages and snacks, and I was delighted to receive a small chocolate truffle after my meal. United's first-class experience is known for its comfort and reliability, and this flight was no exception. The flight attendants were personable, and despite the slight age of the cabin, the overall service made up for it. In terms of entertainment, United offers an extensive selection of movies and TV shows, though it lacked some of the newer titles I had seen on other airlines. The in-seat entertainment system was easy to use, and I spent part of the flight watching a classic movie from the 80s, something I wouldn't have expected but thoroughly enjoyed. I also appreciated the excellent Wi-Fi on board, which allowed me to stream content and keep in touch with friends and family. As we neared San Francisco, the atmosphere in the cabin grew more relaxed. I took the opportunity to recline my seat into a bed for a brief nap before landing. The flight itself was smooth, and after a few hours, we touched down at San Francisco International. With just a quick layover before my next flight, I made my way to the terminal. United had a fantastic lounge where I could stretch my legs and prepare for the final stages of my journey. Alaska Airlines. The fifth flight. After a quick break in San Francisco, I was back at the airport, ready for my next adventure with Alaska Airlines. If you've never flown with Alaska, you might not know how much they focus on comfort and ease for their first-class passengers. As soon as I approached the check-in counter, I was greeted warmly by the staff, who took care of all my needs. The process was quick and efficient, and I was soon making my way to the Alaska Airlines Lounge, which had a reputation for offering some of the best food and beverage options in the industry. The lounge itself was relaxed yet stylish, with sweeping views of the tarmac. It wasn't as opulent as some of the other lounges I had visited, but it certainly had its charm. There were plenty of seating options, and I chose a cozy corner by the window. The food options were far better than what you would typically expect in an airport lounge, with a full buffet that included fresh salads, sandwiches, and even locally sourced seafood. I opted for a smoked salmon bagel and a glass of local Chardonnay, which paired beautifully with the quiet atmosphere. My seat was equipped with a personal touchscreen, offering a variety of movies and TV shows to keep me entertained during the short flight. The meal service on Alaska Airlines was simple but satisfying. I started with a fresh seasonal salad with goat cheese and candied pecans, followed by a grilled chicken breast served with roasted vegetables and quinoa. While the dish was straightforward, it was delicious and perfectly suited for a shorter flight. For dessert, I had a chocolate chip cookie, which was warm and comforting after the meal. The flight attendants were exceptionally friendly, checking in regularly to ensure everyone had what they needed. One of the unique features of Alaska Airlines' first-class experience is their Alaska Airlines First Class service, which includes complimentary wine, cocktails, and a variety of snacks throughout the flight. I chose a gin and tonic as I relaxed in my seat, and it was perfect for the mood. The flight crew was incredibly efficient, and they ensured the passengers had a smooth and enjoyable flight. The in-flight entertainment options on Alaska were not as extensive as on some other airlines, but I still enjoyed the ability to stream movies directly to my personal device via their free Wi-Fi. It was a great way to pass the time, especially since the flight was only about 2 hours long. By the time we landed in Seattle, I felt refreshed and ready for the next leg of my journey. Delta Airlines. The sixth flight. The final airline on my luxury flying journey was Delta Airlines, one of the most well-known and respected carriers in the United States. I was flying out of Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, where Delta has a strong presence. The check-in process was quick and painless, and I was soon in their Sky Club Lounge, which was a quiet oasis in the midst of the busy airport. The lounge had a modern feel with sleek furniture and plenty of space to relax. The food in the Sky Club was impressive, with a wide range of options available. I opted for a hearty vegetable soup and a chicken Caesar salad to keep things light, followed by a glass of crisp white wine. The lounge was equipped with plenty of power outlets, making it an ideal place to catch up on work or relax before the flight. I was able to recharge my devices and get ready for my final leg of the journey. When it was time to board, I made my way to the gate and boarded a Delta Boeing 757-200, a classic aircraft that Delta uses for many of its transcontinental flights. The first-class cabin was spacious and comfortable with a 2-2 seating arrangement. The seat had a good amount of legroom, and I was provided with a pillow and blanket for the flight. The design of the cabin was modern and fresh, with blue and gray tones giving the space a calm and inviting atmosphere. As the flight took off, the meal service began. Delta is known for its high-quality food offerings, and this flight was no exception. I started with a fresh arugula salad topped with strawberries and goat cheese. For the main course, I had a grilled salmon fillet with roasted asparagus and a side of mashed potatoes. The fish was perfectly cooked, flaking apart easily and complemented by the fresh vegetables. For dessert, I enjoyed a creamy cheesecake with raspberry coulis, which was the perfect end to the meal. Delta's entertainment system was excellent, offering a wide range of movies, TV shows, and even games to pass the time. The Wi-Fi on board was fast enough for me to catch up on emails and send messages to family and friends. The flight attendants were exceptionally attentive, always making sure passengers had everything they needed. They offered a wide variety of drinks throughout the flight, including cocktails, wines, and coffee, which was a nice touch. After a few hours, we began our descent into Atlanta, where I would wrap up my journey. The flight was smooth and I felt well-rested, despite the long hours in the air. Delta's first-class service had been nothing short of excellent, and it made a perfect end to my whirlwind 72-hour adventure. JetBlue Airways, the 8th flight. After a short layover in Atlanta, I made my way to my next destination, New York City, flying with JetBlue Airways. JetBlue isn't often considered a luxury carrier in the same league as some of the bigger names in the industry, but its premium service in Mint class has been receiving rave reviews in recent years. As soon as I entered the terminal, I was impressed with the look and feel of JetBlue's check-in area. There were dedicated counters for Mint class passengers, ensuring an expedited check-in process. The staff greeted me warmly, and I was soon on my way to their lounge, the T5 Lounge, which is located in Terminal 5 at JFK. The lounge felt modern and stylish with a bright, open design. The ambiance was relaxed with comfy seating and plenty of room to spread out. The lounge had a wide variety of food and beverage options, from light snacks to more substantial offerings. I opted for a glass of sparkling wine and a small plate of assorted cheeses and fruit, which was perfect as I prepared for my flight. The lounge also had an impressive selection of cocktails, but I decided to stick with something simple to relax before my flight. When it was time to board, I was eager to experience JetBlue's Mint class. JetBlue has revamped their premium cabin, and it is now one of the most talked about offerings in the U.S. airline industry. The Mint class cabin on the Airbus A321, which was the aircraft I would be flying, was arranged in a 1-to-1 configuration, giving each passenger their own suite-like space. The seat was not just a seat, it was a fully lie-flat bed with privacy doors that could be closed, offering a high level of personal space that is unmatched in many first-class cabins. As I settled into my seat, I noticed the cabin had a modern, sleek design, with dark wood accents and plush seating. The overhead bins were spacious, and I felt like I could stretch out and relax without feeling cramped. The service began almost immediately with the flight attendants offering a welcome drink. I chose champagne, and within moments, I was handed a glass along with a warm towel to freshen up. The cabin crew on JetBlue was exceptional. They were attentive, polite, and clearly well-trained to cater to the needs of Mint-class passengers. As we began the flight, the meal service commenced, and the choices were impressive. The menu featured an array of gourmet items, including a roasted beet and goat cheese salad, seared tuna with jasmine rice, and a decadent chocolate mousse cake for dessert. Each dish was served beautifully, and I couldn't help but appreciate the quality of the ingredients. What really stood out about the meal service on JetBlue was the attention to detail. Everything was freshly prepared, and the flavors were vibrant and sophisticated. The seared tuna was perfectly cooked, and the jasmine rice provided a delicate complement to the fish. The salad was light but refreshing, and the mousse cake was rich without being too heavy, making it the perfect way to end the meal. The in-flight entertainment was another highlight of the JetBlue experience. Each Mint class seat was equipped with a large touchscreen, providing access to movies, TV shows, and even live TV. I watched an entire movie during the flight, and the quality of the screen and sound system was impressive. The Wi-Fi was fast and free, which was a huge bonus. I spent a little time catching up on work and checking emails before reclining my seat into a fully flat bed for a nap. JetBlue's Mint class is a strong competitor in the premium cabin space, offering an exceptional flying experience for those seeking luxury at a more affordable price point. The combination of outstanding service, high-quality food, and excellent amenities made this one of the most memorable flights of the entire journey. I arrived in New York feeling refreshed despite the long flight. American Airlines. The 9th flight. My next flight was with American Airlines, departing from New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport. American is one of the largest and most well-established carriers in the U.S., and its flagship first-class service has long been a staple for premium travelers. As I entered the airport, I headed straight for American Airlines' flagship lounge. The lounge was spacious and well-appointed, offering a tranquil environment in contrast to the hustle and bustle of the terminal. The decor was sleek, with dark wood paneling and comfortable seating that provided a sense of understated luxury. Southwest in-flight entertainment was basic but functional, with a selection of free movies and TV shows available to stream on personal devices. I opted for a TV show, and the Wi-Fi was fast enough to keep me entertained throughout the short flight. Southwest's commitment to efficiency and service made this final leg of my journey a fitting conclusion to my whirlwind 72 hours of flying in first class. And as the plane touched down in Las Vegas, I couldn't help but reflect on the incredible experience I had just completed. A unique journey across the United States, flying on every major airline's premium cabins, experiencing the best each had to offer. The adventure had been exhausting but unforgettable, and though this chapter was nearing its end, the memories of the journey would stay with me forever,